Hello everybody, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. So today's video, as you saw by the title, we will be doing 4 looks using one palette, and that is my Huda Beauty Ruby Obsessions palette. This is actually look number 1, so we'll obviously get to that in a second, but just a little background on this palette. Huda Beauty Ruby Obsessions, like I mentioned, she has a bunch of different shades, different color schemes, different layouts. She has bigger palettes, bigger palettes, yeah, not smaller. I think she only has like her really big palettes or these. She has some more neutral ones. She has a blue, a green. She has lots of these. They're $27. These 9 pan kind of palettes. $27. I know, ridiculous. But I thought it'd be cool to do 4 different looks with it. 4 kind of creative, fun looks. Because honestly, it's gonna be really hard to get everyday wearable shades with this palette. Everyday wearable looks with this palette because it is so dramatic. I mean, I'm sure if you just stick to like this shade and that shimmer, you'd be alright, but that's only one look here. And I really feel like just this palette is very bold, dramatic, and inspiring. So I think that I think it would be cool for you guys to see kind of like how when I'm staring at a palette, how I get creative and stuff like that. And this is probably one of my most inspiring makeup palettes. And so yeah, I'm gonna swatch. Wow, I didn't even say let's just get started. So I'm gonna do some swatches and then we'll get into first looks. So let's just get started. Here are the 4 shimmers. They don't have shade names, which is like I hate that because it's really hard, especially when I want to like zoom through it and like not say each shade, which I'll just be tapping into it, which kind of sucks, but you'll be able to see what shade I'm using, just not there's nothing to call it. So these are 4 shimmers in here. They look absolutely beautiful, and I do really like all the shimmers in here. There's a small enough palette that I feel like we can swatch some of these. I kind of just pick and choose what palettes I want to swatch because really I don't like swatching. Here are like some of the mattes. This one's a satin, I believe, yeah. And then I didn't put anything on that finger and I was like, where'd it go? That was the old swatch on that finger. And then we have like the peach and then like the pinky kind of shade. So these are the mattes down here. I really honestly think on the eye, the mattes are the winner, and the shimmers kind of lack a little bit, but looking at the swatches, you'd think the shimmers look better. I think these palettes are good if you are the colored ones, at least, or at least this one. I feel like it's good if you want to get creative. Like I said, it's not good for every day. Personally, I don't think so. And quite honestly, I'm not sure what job, unless you work at Sephora or something like that, I'm not sure what job would be okay with you wearing this color scheme every day because they're so bold. So I don't know, it really depends on where you work, but I think like some of the more wearable shades, the more wearable palettes, go grab it, get yourself one because the quality is really good. The shimmers are pretty good, the mattes are really nice. I do like her matte formula better than I like her shimmer formula, but I still feel like if it's something you want to try, I suggest sticking to the more wearable ones just because the formula is not that good that you want to use this every single day and do creative looks every single day. Like, it's not that good, but it's good enough to like where you can, good enough that if you had a more wearable kind of scheme, you'd want to wear it every day. So it's kind of bittersweet. I've talked about this a lot. This palette to me is like very so-so. I never could say if this was worth the 27? Yeah, I could never say it was worth the $27. I believe it is, because it's just personal preference. If you're someone who can wear these every day, then it's worth it. But if you're someone who really can't, and I think you should get a more wearable one because the formula is not so good that it's like, oh, it doesn't matter what these shades are. The formula is so good, you know. It's not like that, like other palettes, you know. So I don't know, but I still think it's going to be so exciting to do some fun looks. I have some great looks planned. The reason why I'm doing 4 looks and not 3 is because I want to use all of the shimmers and this satin, I think. So I'm going to mix some of the shades around to where I think I'll be wearing 2 of the shimmers at the same time and then get a look with the satin or something like that, because I have some good looks planned. And so yeah, I talked a lot, and since we're doing 4 looks, this video might be a little bit longer, so let's not make it any longer than it needs to be. Without further ado, let's just get started. Wow, I already said that. Let's just get on with the looks. Sheesh, what's wrong with me? Sheesh, sheesh. I can't do these videos. I can't. Whatever. So here is look number 1. Looks good. Everything else seems to not be working today. My foundation, my bronzer, my highlight that you can see on my texture. Lots of things were not working in my favor. I had to change my lips like 3 times because none of them matched. So I went with the Fenty Beauty Gloss Bomb in the shade Fussy. But anyway, I used, they don't have shade names, but I used this shade up here and then this shade down here. These are probably my 2 favorite shades in the whole entire palette because they're just stunning, and together they are absolutely gorgeous. My kind of thing with this palette is that I love the matte shades. I think the matte shades are probably the better part of this palette. I just don't think the shimmers are all that. They don't look the most stunning. I had to really build it up. I had to spray my brush. I had to use my finger. I had to really dig in there. You can see the dip is so massive in there. Not because I use the shade a lot, but because when I do use it, I have to dig in there to get it, make it look this pretty. And still, I would like a little bit more shimmer and shine. That being said, I'm obsessed with this matte shade. Oh my goodness, it is absolutely stunning. And I'm obsessed. Absolutely obsessed. Probably my 2 favorite shades. The rest of the shimmers again are just basic as well, and some of the mattes are just like this one. I actually looked at it and I was like, what look would I do with these 2 shades? What peach would match? None of these peaches. Okay, so maybe the shimmer that I used would be the only one that matched with that peach, but that'd be a very basic look too. So I don't understand. Let's just get on with the next look. Okay, I know I'm filming. I know my eyes look crazy, but I know I'm filming on the same day, and like some people might think that's wasteful, but like just to clarify, I'm using like this foundation and this powder and like bronzer and stuff that I literally hate. So my blush I don't hate. Some products I don't hate. I just was like, all right, I will just use this because I haven't used it in a while. But like some of these products I literally hate, and like they make my skin look really, really bad. Like my highlighter is clinging to so much texture. It's disgusting. But it's really hard to tell unless I mention it. But it's really hard to tell on camera. Whereas like in person, you can tell. Like you can really tell. So I like to wear this stuff in filming. While filming, because you can't really tell, but then I still get to use it up and I'm not wasting my makeup that I actually like, you know. So I was gonna end up doing this kind of look on another day and having to reapply this and all this stuff, and I was like, well, why do that when I could just take off my eyeshadow and stuff and then start from there and you still get two looks. So whatever, you get the best of both worlds. Okay, so we're just gonna start off with a clean brush on this shade right here. Kind of literally like a setting shade, whatever you want it to be. It has a little pink tint to it, like a pink hue almost, a little bit. Like you can't even see it on camera because it's really lightly pink in person. So if you have a really light skin tone, it might show up, but honestly it's probably just gonna be white. White. Alright, so I think we're just gonna start with this shade again. But just this shade. I mean, they're going on top of each other, so it's kind of the same. But I think I really want it to be pink this time. Yes, girl. And blending that into the crease. I'm actually going to take the same shade and just run it on the lower lash line. Okay, so then I'm just going to take like this flat brush, and we're going to take this shade right here. And I'm probably going to end up having to spray it, but we're going to put it in the front part of my eye and the back part of my eye to kind of create a halo eye. Yeah, we're gonna have to spray it, but that's okay. These shimmers just take a little extra TLC, y'all. A little extra. Alright, so I'm just going to take this middle one right here, this middle shade, and put that in the center of my eye as well. Again, probably going to have to spray the brush. I personally don't mind spraying the brush. The only time I mind is when the palette costs $27. That's expensive for the shimmers to not be amazing. Okay, so I'm actually going to go in with my finger in this middle shade and then see if that makes it pop a little bit more. Ugh, I think it did. Alright, then we're just going to go back with the blending brush and kind of dip into this bottom shade again and blend everything out. Ugh. This look is so fun because it's so easy and it's almost like, not simple, but it's almost like, I guess simple is the word, but it's like more than that. I live. We're gonna add some black eyeliner on the waterline, and then on the lid, wow, on the eyelid, on the top of the eye, some mascara, and then, yeah. Okay, and then for inner corner highlight, where's the brush? El brush. La brush. I'm just gonna take this shade again and hit it on the inner corners. I feel like this shade is really, really nice in the inner corners. That is one thing that this shade does right. Oh, so stunning. Alright, so here is the next look. I'm kind of obsessed. I really like that purple like tint. Both the, like, I don't even know, like purple undertone almost that the transition shade and the middle shade has. Oh my gosh, it just looks stunning together. And the lower lash line with the everything is working beautimous. This is probably one of the more wearable shades, like if you're just going out to dinner or something. I really like this one. It's not super dramatic. If you really want to amplify it up, you could always just add this shade down here. If you hit that on the lower lash line, or like as a liner, a tight line, or like, yeah, as a liner or something. Oh my gosh, outer corner, bomb, beautimous. It would be so deep and juicy. But you know what? I love this look too. So yeah, let's just get on with the next look. Alright guys, so here is the final look. I'm freaking obsessed with this look. I think it's so pretty, so bold, like so glam, but I live for it. These two shades that I have on, honestly these three shades are probably my favorite shades. I know I mentioned this one and this one are like my favorite, but I love this black too. It's so unique. And it's so, although it is a black, it's like obviously since it has that shift to it, it's so much more than that, and it's just so pretty. It just transforms a look completely, and I live for it. And then my inner corner plus like this whole look is just so good. I'm obsessed. I live. So hopefully we get to use I think these are the only two shades I haven't used yet, these two down here, so we'll try to do a look with these together. They're just kind of the random two in the things in the palette. It's like, what? This is, I have this on my eye, and then this is like the other shades in here. What? Oh my gosh guys, let's look at my highlight. Let's take a minute because I live. I'm mixing my Steve Laurent Jelly Highlighter in the shade Prosecco Please and my Fenty Matchstick in the shade Cinnamon, and Beautimus. And I know I'm talking a lot, and we supposed to do 4 looks, but you know, no, we're gonna do 4 looks, but it's gonna be a while. Anyway, again, every time I use it, it's kind of just justifies what I say even more, is that it's kind of like a great palette, but it's not the easiest to work with. The shimmers are not the most like, it's nothing spectacular, and although you can create beautiful, very creative looks, it's just not a very practical palette either. And then the shades in here just don't. These two just throw the whole palette off. They could have gone anywhere, and they chose to go peach. It just doesn't make sense here. So those two shades are very weird, and just a lot of it is very random. But other than that, this is great. I might hit pan on these shades like just from doing look videos and looks like this and taking Instagram pictures, because this one has a big dip in it now. This one has a huge dip. These have big dips, so hey. All right, so let's just get on to the next look. Alright, so this is the final look, and it actually grew on me. At first I was like, no. Because honestly, these two shades are just not my favorite in the palette. I think they don't add anything to palette at all. But then I added this green eyeliner to the waterline. This is the Appeal gel liner in the shade Forest Green. And I added this to the waterline, and it's just screaming Christmas, and I live because it's beautiful. I thought it was going to be a little bit more peachy, but quite honestly, this peach shade is not as pigmented. Like, you can't even see it on my eyes because it's not as pigmented as it looks. Honestly, it just comes off as like basically a white matte shade on my eye. Like, these two are probably would just do the same thing on my eye, and that's add nothing but lightness, like lighten my eyes. So not my favorite, quite honestly. This red shade, again, it grew on me. I didn't love it, and I don't like love the texture of it. It's a very dry, it feels like just like a dry shimmer, and it's a satin kind of shade. You can see it's not as shimmery as this one right here. It's a satin, so it is a little bit like it's the middle sister between a shimmer and a matte. So it's kind of like dry, like matte shades are, so that you can blend them, and it's almost supposed, but it's also supposed to be a little bit, you know, easier to work with and not as dry because it has the shimmer in it. So I would have liked it to be a little bit creamier almost and going on a little bit easier. It was very hard even when I sprayed my brush, but I think like the look turned out not so bad after all, so I'm okay with it. It makes my eyes look very, very small, and that's just because there's nothing to blend it out. And honestly, I was thinking really hard, and there's just no other shade in here that would really match with this red shade to blend it out. So it was kind of like dun. Like, I guess I could use the pink shade, but then we're just taking the look to a whole nother place that I didn't want to go. So these two shades on here, not it. The rest of the palette I really like. This white shade is not really necessary because it's a little bit peachy, but it's just a white shade, so quite honestly it adds nothing, I feel like. But I think the rest of the palette is a very nice put together palette. Everything makes sense as far as those shades go. I could see myself using the red again, never this peach again though, because you can't even tell I have it on. So yeah, that is really it for this video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed these three looks. This was really, really fun to film. They always take so long because obviously I have to edit each look and all that stuff, and I want to give you a good spectrum of looks from this palette, not just like the same kind of looks like where it's just a matte and a shimmer, you know. So I really wanted to try to use every shade as well in the palette. That's why I had to use these two shades. So yeah. Okay, so the rest for today is on this cute little card. I don't remember where I got it, and I think I've shared it in a video before, but it says God loves me. God loves you and has chosen you to be set apart for himself. Romans 1:7. God loves you. God loves me. We're a happy family. Alright guys, that's it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed these 4 looks. Comment down below what palettes you want me to do this with next, and please subscribe because I love doing these kind of videos, and it'll show me kind of like you still want to see them. And yeah, give this video a thumbs up. Bye guys.